Marriage is a journey of two souls walking hand in hand through the beginning of a new chapter. It is a journey that two people embark on together with shared dreams, hopes, and aspirations. It's a union where love, trust, and mutual respect form the foundation of a strong partnership. While the road may not always be smooth, the companionship and support that partners offer each other make every obstacle surmountable. In marriage, love is not just a feeling, but a choice made every day. It's about recognizing each other's strengths and weaknesses and complementing one another. It's about making sacrifices for the greater good of the relationship and finding joy in the happiness of your partner. Through compromise, couples learn to navigate life's challenges hand in hand. My name is Amy, and this is my marriage life. I married the man of my dreams, Steve Anderson, after dating for 2 years before he finally took me to the altar. We had a beautiful life together with 2 children. We weren't rich, but we provided well for the family. My husband, as a cab driver, earned at least $3,000 a month. Or so I thought. I ran a small grocery shop to contribute to our income. We worked hard to meet our family's needs and wants. One afternoon, while I was at the shop, a beautiful young woman came in to buy some items. When it was time to pay, she handed me a card. To my shock, it was my husband's card. It's actually Steve's card, I thought. I didn't mention anything to her. I just swiped the card, handed it back, and watched her leave, my mind racing with confusion. If she had stolen it, she wouldn't know the PIN, I pondered. I wanted to call Steve, but decided against it. That evening, I waited for Steve to say, "Honey, I lost my card today." But he didn't. Instead, I saw the same card in his wallet on the table. My confusion deepened. Before bed, he told me he wouldn't be home the next night. I kept my suspicions to myself. The next day, the same woman returned, looking even happier and again using Steve's card. "You look so excited." "What's the celebration?" I asked. "Well, nothing really. My boyfriend's spending the night with me for the first time and I want to make it special," she replied joyfully. "Where do you stay?" I asked, praying she wouldn't question me. She gave me her address without hesitation. That evening, I took a taxi to the address she provided. I knocked on the door and she answered. "Babes, is that the delivery?" Steve's voice trailed off as he saw me, his face turning pale. Tears streamed down my cheeks as I ran home, heartbroken. I packed my things and those of our children, ready to leave. Steve rushed home, begging for forgiveness. "If I hadn't come there, would you be home now? You should be with your girlfriend. How dare you hurt me like this?" I shouted, the pain unbearable. He tried to stop me, but I was determined. I decided to not leave the house, but then again, I wasn't comfortable knowing he cheated on me. I stayed in the house with him for months, and every single day in those months, he would always apologize. He sent his mom, my best friend, my siblings, his siblings, in fact, anyone who knows us, to talk to me and also apologize on his behalf. But all of these, I couldn't shake the fact that he cheated. It kept ringing in my head whenever I heard those apologies, especially from him. He comes home frequently more than before. He made promises that he won't cheat on me ever again. He wanted a second chance. But a cheat will always be a cheat are the words I console myself with. After 3 months of staying in that house, feeling all angry and bitter, I couldn't take it anymore. So I packed my stuff and that of my kids again and was ready to leave. "You'll hear from my lawyer," I told him. I went through with the divorce despite his pleas for a second chance. 2 years after the divorce, I struggled to make ends meet. I couldn't keep up with the bills. My kids and I needed a man in the house, or should I say a father figure. Steve sent some money for child support, but it wasn't enough. Despite the hardships, I never gave up. I tried dating again, but no one was willing to accept me and my kids. Most of the men who said they loved me only loved me without my children. Once they found out I had kids, they'd break up with me. Some of them went as far as convincing me that they loved my children only to have nights with me in their bed. Finally, I decided to try a dating app and met Evans, a real estate manager who seemed perfect. After a month of online conversations, we decided to meet in person. I was so excited, counting down the days. When we finally met, the chemistry was undeniable. We talked about everything: our past, secrets, dreams for the future. That night, we stayed up late, not wanting to say goodbye. So he took me to his hotel room. "Why a hotel room? You don't have your own place?" I asked him, shocked at why he took me to a hotel room instead of his house. "I don't base here. I only came to this town so I could see your beautiful face and also for a business meeting, he said. I believed him. I just sat on the dressing table drying my hair with the towel when he came out from the bathroom dripping. I stared at him so lustfully that one could tell so easily. His abs were something else. It was actually calling my name. He noticed. He walked to where I sat and pulled me into his arms. He kissed me on the lips and waited for my reaction. I pulled him in and we kissed so passionately and intensely, fueled by the thrill of the moment. We moved toward the bed, the towels along the way. Evan's touch was both gentle and insistent, his hands exploring my body with a mixture of tenderness and urgency. I responded with equal fervor, my hands tracing the lines of his muscles, savoring the feel of his skin against mine. We fell onto the bed, our bodies closely intertwined, indicating physical closeness and intimacy as we lay together and quietly shared our feelings or intimate words. We became so engrossed in each other that we were no longer aware of our surroundings, leaving just the two of us in our intimate, private, and comfortable space, highlighting our physical and emotional intimacy. The passion between us was undeniable, our bodies moving together in a harmonious movement. Afterward, we lay entwined, our breathing gradually slowing. I rested my head on Evan's chest, listening to the steady beat of his heart. That was incredible, Evans murmured, his voice a low rumble. I smiled, lifting my head to meet his gaze. It was. I'm glad we did this, I replied so happily. He brushed a strand of hair from my face, his touch tender. Me too, he said. We stayed like that for a while, enjoying the warmth of each other's presence. Eventually, we drifted into sleep. Evans and I kept on meeting and enjoying good moments. But soon after, Evans became elusive. Hey, I'm in a meeting. I'll call you later. Hello, who are you? I can't talk right now. I'm traveling for business, so no calls until I'm back. His excuses piled up and I grew suspicious. When we did meet, it was always in secret. Evans claimed, I'm a known person. I don't want to be seen with you in public until we're ready to settle down. Determined to uncover the truth, I investigated Evans's life and discovered he was married with children. I was devastated. I had unwittingly become a mistress, the very thing I despised after my own husband's betrayal. Heartbroken, I ended the relationship and urged Evans to focus on his family. Seeking closure, I approached Steve, only to find he had remarried a woman much younger than myself and was doing much better. I realized I had made the wrong decision without looking back. Steve had been willing to change, but I had paid deaf ears to his pleas. Never make any decision in haste in marriage. One thing is sure, Steve cheated. But he never abandoned his responsibility as a husband and as a father. Even after meeting with his mistress, he'd always come home to me. When I found out, he was willing to change. He asked for a second chance, which I refused not to give him. Evans, on the other hand, would come spend some hours or days with me and still go back to his family. It is one mistake I made, and I regret ever leaving my marriage. Try to forgive. Consider the impact of divorce on children, family, and even yourself. Sometimes, working through the difficulties can provide a more stable and nurturing environment for them. Forgiveness is a personal choice and a process. It doesn't mean forgetting or excusing the behavior, but rather choosing to move forward without harboring resentment. Marriage is not just about growing old together, but about growing together. It's about learning, evolving, and adapting as a couple. As life changes, so do people, and marriage is about embracing these changes and continuing to support each other through them. A great marriage is not when the perfect couple comes together. It is when an imperfect couple learns to enjoy their differences.